Hello, friends. I hope this reaches you well. Chelsea Colley here. I am just making sure we're live and good.
Hova. Okay. And
Sorry.
Hello, friends.
Here we go. We are all good. Okay, so I just wanted to go live when I had the chance real quick and cover a couple things. So right now, I've got a couple interviews scheduled for tomorrow, and they're really awesome guests. I am going to have Lowell Johnson at 1 o'clock and Bruce Poppy at 5 o'clock. These are Central Standard Times. Now, if you don't know who Lowell Johnson is, Lowell Johnson has told his story of actual experience of inner earth. And let me just make sure the sound is good. Yeah, we're good. Okay. So Lowell Johnson did an interview. He did a 2-part series with Danny Henderson. And I want to say it was like over a year ago. I know I watched it on New Year's Day. And if you go to Danny Henderson's channel and watch the 2 Lowell Johnson interviews, your mind will be blown. I mean, seriously, this guy has had an experience where he was allowed in and actually had a real experience with inner earth beings of Telos underneath Mount Shasta in California. So, I mean, super, super interesting guy. I mean, this is a guy that was like a contractor and worked around different hotels. He was in the hospitality industry, which I have that in common too. I was in hospitality for like 10 years, front desk, sales, catering, events, stuff like that. So he's just a real normal kind of guy, like a real logical guy. So to hear him explaining the spiritual experience is pretty cool. I'll let him tell his story tomorrow, but what he's experienced, and that was like, I think 2 years now, and then things that he's experienced since. It's really amazing stuff. He's been able to capture a lot of spiritual beings on film, on camera. So he has a lot of pictures, and I'm sure he'll probably share some tomorrow that where you can see like rainbow beings in it and sparkles of light and flashes and just some really cool stuff. So you're going to love Lowell Johnson. He's super fascinating. And he's one of those guys that you kind of just got to let him go and he's going to probably dominate the whole interview. So we'll just be excited wherever Lowell Johnson wants to take us tomorrow. And at 5 o'clock tomorrow, we're going to be interviewing Bruce Poppy. So Bruce Poppy, you've probably seen him around if you watched any of the Truth Tour. He was one of the speakers, and he was the host of the Truth Tour of the Truthathon event that was all day on Saturday. If you were able to turn in on Screw Big Gov on Rumble. This is the Lewis Herms, part of his Truth Tour series. He's done a couple of these Truthathons, and Katie Rain, who we've interviewed here, and Laura Worley, Kathy O'Brien was on it. I'm sure Michael Jaco was. I know Tracy Joe Jaco was. Janine was of Tarot by Janine, and also Janine Steffens of Turn the Page. Several other amazing people, Stephen Tenner, Derek Johnson, lots of other people. They were all featured on the Truthathon on Saturday. So Bruce Poppy, he was one of the major hosts, and Bruce is just an all-around like super cool guy, super friendly, and he was one of the most receptive people where I was like, hey, would you want to have an interview? And he's like, yeah, totally. Here's my number. Let's do it. And him and his wife Natalie help out a lot. So Bruce Poppy, you can find him on Rumble. His channel is called Unpopular Viewpoint. And Lowell Johnson, I don't think Lowell Johnson has a channel of his own, but we'll let you know how to get in touch with him or find more of his work when we talk to him tomorrow. But meanwhile, if you want to see who Lowell Johnson is and listen to a couple hours that is going to absolutely blow your mind, someone describing their own experiences with inner earth beings underneath Mount Shasta, I would totally recommend you go to Danny Henderson's channel and just watch Lowell Johnson interviews 1 and 2. They're going to be the oldest ones. She's had several interviews, I think a few since then, but they're going to be the oldest ones. And I recommend you actually watch the oldest ones because it's going to be different to see him tell a story then because it was fresh versus now. Whereas now he's told a story a few more times, but he goes into major depth in Danny Henderson's channel. And honestly, my mind was totally blown after I finished both of those interviews. It was incredible. So Lowell Johnson is one of the major people that I've been wanting to connect with for so long. And I'm like, I've got to talk to that guy. And luckily we're friends on Facebook and I messaged him and he was totally open to it. So super excited to welcome Lowell Johnson and Bruce Poppy tomorrow again. 1:00 p.m. Central Standard Time for Lowell Johnson and 5:00 p.m. Central Standard Time for Bruce Poppy. Next thing, obviously, as I do interviews, I'm not going to agree with everything that all of my guests say. So just because they say a certain thing doesn't necessarily mean that I 100% agree. I know you know that, but I just want to make that clear. And also, for example, the interview that I did with Stephen Tenner, I love Stephen Tenner. I love his passion, but there were some times during the interview that I had where I feel like he really kind of went off on the people that are still asleep. And it's I know the people that are still asleep aren't watching here. So I don't want people to go off on our audience here. And make anyone feel doom and gloom or attacked or anything like that. That's why I wanted to make things clear with Stephen Tenner. Hey, you're talking to the people who are not awake yet. You're talking to the people who are still asleep. And so, that's not you watching right now. And I just wanted to make that clear. And moving forward, I will probably try to cut that off because I do want to keep this a high vibe conversation and I don't want to talk to an audience that's not here. I feel like that was one of the most frustrating things, this whole truther movement, to be just a person that's following along just like you, part of an audience of the truther people, and getting constantly yelled and berated and wake up, you've got to wake up. And it's hey, don't yell at me, I'm awake already. That's why I'm here. So I don't want anybody to go off on personal frustrations or personal wounds or personal things that they have and point their finger and say, you, la, 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 at my audience, not that you're my audience, but at this audience, because like I said, the people who are brainwashed and asleep aren't going to be watching this. So if you're here, I already know that you know what's up and you know that the things are dangerous and you know that everything's a lie. And so yeah, moving forward, I'm just going to make sure I stay more in control of my interviews because there was a lot of things that were important that were skimmed over, but I wasn't able to get a word in to kind of make things clear and break things down. So I love people and their passion and everything, but I also want to make sure that I'm respected, we're respected here, and people aren't taking out personal vendettas on my channel type thing. also, that was one of the most frustrating things, as I mentioned earlier, is like, I feel like Scott McKay, he would find the one person who's the troll in the audience, and he's like, oh, you milk toast P words, and he would start going off on him, and I'm like, hey, wait, what about the rest of us? Because like, we're all here because we know you, we love you, so don't go off on us. I respect you too much as a person who would tune into something like this to waste your time or to try to put bad energy out there. So while, I may be honest, or I may say things that could possibly hurt someone's feelings or something, I'm generally not going to be like giving an angry message on here, because I don't want to do that to you guys. I want this to be a great positive place with high vibes only. And just because I do make just because I make my opinion known and I say things where I feel like it's important that we should say things, doesn't mean that I'm necessarily being negative. It's just like, I'm being real. I have the freedom of speech to say what I want. And if I'm on other channels and I make a comment in their comments, it's not to be rude or it's not to bring the vibe down, but like, I don't want more false information put out there. So yeah, if you say something that's wrong, I'm going to say, actually, it's this. And I will definitely let you know if I'm censored from any channels, because I have been in the past. And I don't think that that's right. Any kind of truther channel that would censor people if they just don't agree with something or make a point about something, they're not being rude. Like, I wasn't being rude or anything. But for example, I'm not going to say the name. I'm trying not to say names here, but I mean, there's certain channels where if you say, hey, I don't agree with this, then they'll just block you in from the channel. So it's important that we report that. If you see any channels that are blocking or censoring their audience or not allowing a certain message, or the moderators are kind of like Nazis in the chat saying, like, you can't express your opinion, high vibe only, no negative stuff allowed, like, we're grown-ups. Okay. So don't censor the chat, any kind of truth or channel. And if it is, then I will definitely be reporting that here on this channel, because that's what I do. I report like real stuff, real truth. And as we learn, different things about the whole reality of life, we're definitely going to be exposing things as people expose themselves. So I know that there have been some truthers exposing themselves recently, and the numbers show. So for right now, I'm going to not mention any names, but like, I do believe it's true that the truther movement has been infiltrated, but I do think that that is also overplayed a little bit too. And there have been some sort of like unacceptable behaviors that are like red flags happening on certain channels. And I don't know if I agree with 90% of all of the truthers are infiltrated. I don't know if I agree with that or not. Because some of the people saying that are actually, there's some questionable behavior there. So we're just gonna follow whoever you really trust. And if there's someone that's constantly, making you nervous or contradicting themselves, or, red flag after red flag, then let that be a sign. This is the time where the enemies are exposing themselves. So there will be a lot of people that this is what we've heard, and this is probably the truth, is that we're going to be surprised when some people expose themselves, because, these are some of the people that we trust or have trusted in the past. So just wanted to make that clear. regarding my guests and, different interviews that I have. I do understand some people are long-winded and don't answer questions great, for example, like 107. So I wouldn't um have any like unrealistic expectations. But I do kind of want to be able to speak if it is my platform and ask questions and chime in. So I think some people will get a pass as far as interviews, where it's like the first one, okay, we'll let them go off a little bit, but then, we're going to take control of it moving forward. And I just want to make sure that my audience questions are getting answered and things are making sense, because when people are in their passion, sometimes it doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense. So I'm trying to be spiritual, and I'm trying to be emotionally aware, but also try to be logical at the same time. Because if we're all airy fairy, spiritual, quantum, but we're not any of the 3D, then it doesn't connect. So we have to have both, So I hope that makes sense. I also wanted to do a couple things real quick while I have you here. I'm on Zoom, so I'm not able to see any of the comments. Let's see here. I do see 10 people are on. Hi, Queen Midas. Ava. Hi, Rosemary Jackson. Welcome. I do want to do something really quick. This is something that I wasn't going to do. I was going to do a little healing on cord cutting. And I saw this and it popped out at me. And I think it popped out because we need this as a whole. And this is how to remove religious and cult control. So we have all experienced this control, whether it be through religions or through an actual cult or through, just media and our TV and MK Ultra, which we are all victim to. So I think something that we should do is we should go through this and release any religious and cult control. And then also, I have a short one for removing cords of attachment to another person. Because for me, myself, recently, over the past couple months, I've set up some boundaries and I've stopped accepting some unacceptable behavior. And I don't know if you're there yet, if you're setting boundaries or if you're, setting up some protections in place to protect yourself. I imagine you probably are, because it's like we're all kind of experiencing this together, especially since the pandemic started. But this would be a great time after we remove the cult control, religious control over MK Ultra and all that. And then we can go ahead and cut cords of attachment to other people, because we are whole and lovely and wonderful and beautiful and perfect all by ourselves. And we don't need anybody else in order to achieve our best selves. So it's time that we rid ourselves of these, limiting behaviors and these habits that we have that aren't serving us anymore, and cut the cords to anybody who is holding on to a part of us. We should not consent in anybody taking our energy. We don't have, we need to keep every bit of energy we have for ourselves. So let's do this. We're just going to read this. And this is very powerful. This is a book called Healing Prayer Commands by Rachel Faribault. how to change your reality by changing your beliefs. And this is super powerful. So it's more like affirmative prayer rather than, oh God, please help me. It's more like, with the power of God, we stand, we rise, we do this, we cut the cords. So, how to remove religious and cult control. I will read this here. It says, command to remove religious cult control. It is commanded that all vows or contracts made knowingly or unknowingly to the church or cult be canceled now. And this is also wanted to bring this up because there has been some cult-like behavior in the truther movement. So we're going to call that out. We're going to say, nope, not going to go there. Not going to go there with any type of narcissistic abuse or anything like that. We're removing all cult control. Must be canceled now. Mark all vows or contracts that I have made knowingly or unknowingly in this lifetime or in past lifetimes to the church, cult, as null and void. I hereby revoke all agreements made to the church and cult now. I hereby lift all rules and limitations that were placed upon me by the church and cult now. I hereby reject all claims that were made over the dominion of my soul by the church or cult now. I hereby revoke all power that was given to the church and cult. I reclaim my personal power now. I declare this removal of power from the church and cult and MK Ultra mind control as irrevocable and permanent in all times and realities. I stand in my personal power and sovereignty now and forevermore. Now, close your eyes and watch as all power from the church, cult, and MK Ultra mind control dissolves. Feel the separation between you and the church, cult, mind control as all previous connections are severed. Feel the severity of the separation and the strength that it brings. Feel the stillness and space that opens within yourself as the church, cult, and MK Ultra mind control has been removed. Feel the love of God. Feel the divine light from within. Feel this newly created space with brilliant white light. This iridescent light cleanses you and heals old wounds. As this bright light fills you up with the divine essence and pure love of God, you feel a wholeness within. Nothing is missing because the connection to God has always existed within you. Your connection to God is stronger now that the interference has been removed, and it will only continue to become more and more brilliant. I am free to choose anything I desire in this lifetime with no restrictions. Repeat after me if you want. I am free to choose anything I desire in this lifetime with no restrictions. I am free to live life according to my rules and my rules alone. I am bound to no one and nothing. My God-given soul belongs to me and me alone. I do not need approval or permission from the church, cult, or mind control to make my own decisions. All decisions in this lifetime are my choice and my choice alone. It is commanded that all fear, shame, and guilt that was projected upon me by the church, cult, and MK Ultra mind control be removed now. I ask for gentle healing to eliminate all wounds that were created from the church, cult, and mind control. I offer forgiveness to the church, cult, and mind control as I release all karmic ties that free me now and forevermore. Thank you, and so it is. It is done, it is done, it is done. Now close your eyes and watch as all past lifetimes are healed as you have reclaimed your power in this lifetime. All old debts are forgotten. All old wounds are healed. View the church and cult and mind control with gratitude and reverence for all the valuable lessons you have learned. You no longer need to repeat the same experiences over and over as you have graduated to the next level of your spiritual involvement. Yay! That was powerful. It worked. I know it worked. And do it again if you need to do it again. You can do this at any time. We are letting go of all the past, any kind of mistakes and behaviors that don't serve us, any kind of repeating patterns that are hurting us, any type of same old crap that keeps happening over and over and over. We're not going to do that anymore. We're releasing limiting beliefs. We're releasing any kind of cult or religious or MK Ultra mind control ties, and it's gone. So I hope you enjoyed that. And also, we're going to do one more real quick. We're going to remove cords of attachment to another person. So do you have anyone that you are angry with? Maybe you've been angry with them for a while and it's been frustrating for months. It's possibly kept you up at night or crossed your mind throughout the day. Something or someone that you need to let go and cut the cords. Think of that person right now. And we're going to release them and remove any cords of attachment to that person. So think of who that person is in your mind now. Okay. So after first, what we need to do is forgive them. And then we need to sever the cords. So if you're ready, let's just say the name and say, I forgive you. I release you of any wrongdoing. Okay, now we're going to completely forget them and let them go. And then after offering forgiveness, it is important to sever all cords that are attaching your energy field to the energy field of that person. So we're going to forgive them, and we're going to forgive them as often as we need to and let it go. And do this every time after you offer forgiveness, end a relationship, or wish to clear the energetic field between you and another person. So close your eyes and visualize the two of you facing each other, surrounded by beautiful white iridescent light. This is the light of God that holds you both in the safe space of love and truth. No darkness can penetrate this light. As you face the other person, smile. Acknowledge them through the greeting of Namaste. Now watch as any energetic cords of attachment between you and the other person become visible. Then speak the following command out loud. It is commanded that all energetic cords and attachments, both visible and invisible, between myself and be severed now. I hereby remove all energetic entanglements between myself and now. Mark all obligations and agreements that have been knowingly or unknowingly in this lifetime or in the past lifetimes with this person as null, void, and complete now. I hereby revoke all power that was given to this person and reclaim my personal power fully and complete now. I am bound to no one. I declare this removal of power and energetic attachment from this person as irrevocable and permanent in all timelines and realities now. I hereby separate myself fully and completely from this person now. I stand in my personal power and sovereignty now and forevermore. I offer forgiveness to this person as I release all karmic ties. This person and I stand separate from one another now and forevermore. Cut. Thank you. And so it is. It is done. It is done. It is done. Now close your eyes and pull out your energetic sword. Cut all the energetic cords that were attaching you to that other person. Watch as the cords immediately disintegrate as they are touched by the sword and evaporated by the light of God that surrounds you. Watch all wounds close up as the light of God heals you both instantly. Feel the lightness of having released all attachments to the other person now. See the other person light and healed as they have released all attachments to you. Face the other and say, Namaste. Once more as you smile, turn and walk in the opposite directions away from each other. Yay! So we're done with that person. We're going to let them go for now. And I think that's it. It looks like there's still a couple people watching. So for the people that stuck around, I actually started reading tarot cards. And so this is going to be just a special treat for you guys, a message that is meant for the people that are still here. Make sure I do this the right way. Yeah. I'm still learning to shuffle. You have to make sure you don't mess the cards up, because if you tip them over, then they're opposite. So you can't tip the cards over. All right. So this is a special message for the 11 people that are watching now and all the people that are going to be watching on the replay. And I'm just going to do 3 cards. Ooh. Okay. I'm going to cry. Okay. I'm seriously going to cry. The first card we got is number 17, the star card. Amazing card. Okay. The second card we got is the sun card. And the third card we got is the 9 of Wands. And that is truly standing in your power. So let me just pull it up because I'm going to go ahead and just read it. So expectations fulfilled, wishes granted, opportunities, healing after traumatic events, knowing that you are on the right path, inspiration, renewed hope. Sink into the dreamlike inspiration of the star. She sends a message of divine timing, renewed hope, and she guides to you for reaching that string of serendipity and faith. Your faith is increasingly bright and you are blessed by the universe. Expect miracles. So we have done a lot of the hard work. We have done a lot of the shadow work. We have forgiven a lot of the people that we need to forgive. We have tried to mend some of the relationships that we've had, or for safety, we have distanced ourselves and having that loving space between us to protect ourselves and our family. And there is major power in that. There is major good things happening. The best is yet to come. How exciting. And the fact that it's number 17, how special. Okay, and the sun card, that's like one of the best cards too. The star and the sun, that's so awesome. Okay, joy, inspiration, success, abundance, fulfillment, exuberant creativity, positivity, love, manifesting dreams, inner beauty, the yes card. So all of your big dreams, all the big dreams that you thought were too big, that you're never going to have, that was just impossible. They weren't, it wasn't realistic. All the things, all the dreams that you let go, that you thought, okay, this isn't in the cards for me. They are in the cards for you, and they are granted. They are already in process. They are already in progress. You've already placed your order with the universe, and these are already on their way. I am whole. I am more than enough. I shine like the sun when I am happy. And you are whole. You are more than enough. And you shine like the sun right now because you have done that shadow work and you have done that self-reflection and having that self-awareness that people take years and years to get. So you're already there. You already have that awareness. You're already way ahead of everybody else. So really awesome things coming. And the 9 of Wands. Let me just look here, make sure I don't miss anything. So this is determination. This is standing strong in your power. This is standing strong in your truth because you know the truth. Determination, resilience, defiance, a last defense, the final push, excitement for what's to come, finding motivation in the face of difficulty, finding your courage in the middle of weakness, finding your true power in the middle of the hardest times in your life. That's where we're at right now. It says, I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. Don't give up now. You're almost there. As you round the corner towards success, something may surface that strengthens your feelings of security and achievement. It's important to remember how far you've come. Don't see this. Anything gets in your way. Don't see this as a symbol of failure. Don't let that voice in your head criticize yourself. Step into your resilient last stand. One final push to complete this task, and tomorrow, stunning light, you can rest. In this shadow, the card suggests you're making things harder than necessary or being overly defensive. But that's if this is upside down. This is not upside down. But these things are possible. We can believe on some level that healing and ascension should be difficult. Sometimes we become so enamored with our stories of rising up that our own shadows become romantic notions that we seek to defend. Let go of any ideas you have about navigating specific lessons on the path. Your time to relax into security and success is on the horizon. I push beyond my own perceived limitations, and I remain open and trusting as I do. So we're going to trust ourselves. We're not going to self-sabotage when we're making progress. We're not going to blame ourselves when something comes up in the way and appears to get in our way. It's all meant to be, and it's all perfect. And these cards are a reflection of where we're at right now. And they're very powerful cards. It's a great message. I love it. So sending you lots of love and light. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow, 1 and 5 Central Standard Time. Share this channel if you feel so inclined. I'd love to be able to reach more people. We have been able to grow our channel by over 400 people just in the past week and a half. And a big part of that was thanks to Janine Morgeau for sharing on her Telegram. And also Stephen Tenner for sharing on his Telegram. I know we have a lot of people that have come over from Stephen Tenner. So welcome. I'm so glad you're all here. And I'm just here to spread love, speak life, and be a life breather. That's the name of my book, Be a Life Breather. And it's time for us to stand in our power, stand strong, let go of the things that aren't serving us, and just trudge forward because we have an awesome, awesome life in store. And there's so much on the horizon. So the best is yet to come. Much love, everybody.